6:30, we will call this meeting to order. Mr. Reyes, for the record, do we have a quorum?
Mr. President, we sure do.
Okay, for the record, there is a quorum for this meeting. Our next agenda is I usually call someone from the staff to do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas flag. But because we have all these stars here with us, I'm going to ask all the kids, if y'all would please stand up, and the staff from Weiner to lead us in the pledge. So if y'all would please lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And now let us have a moment of silence. Thank you. Good job, kids. Good job. All right. So we'll get to you here in a minute, but right now we will move on to the next agenda item, which is the superintendent announcements. So, Mr. Rohn.
Good evening. It's good to see so many of you here. All the kids here, families here, kind of celebrating some of the things that have gone on. And so, good day to be a Matador. Last week, the district received word on the official distinction designations from TEA. As we reported to you last month, we anticipated receiving between 5 and 10 distinctions. As it turns out, 8 distinction designations were earned by Seguin ISD schools during the 2015 school year. This is an increase from 2014-15, in which the district earned 2. This increase from 2 to 8 distinction designations exemplifies the focus that our students, teachers, and campus administrators had on academics last year. I'm proud of their success in the classroom. Last week, Mr. Esquivel at Seguin High School received notice that one of his students is a National Merit semifinalist. We are extremely proud of senior Kirsten Gustafson for earning this honor. A semifinalist must have an outstanding academic record throughout high school, be endorsed and recommended by high school officials, write an essay, and earn SAT scores that confirm the student's earlier performance on the qualifying test. From the approximately 16,000 semifinalists across the country, about 15,000 are expected to advance to the finalist level in February. A Seguin ISD student since first grade, Kirsten serves as the editor-in-chief of Seguin High School's Cricket Chirps newspaper, the longest-running student publication in the state of Texas. As a member of the Matador Band, Kirsten earned a chair in the TMEA All-State Band in January on French horn. This is the highest honor that a high school musician can receive. Keep up the great work, Kirsten. Last Saturday, the Seguin High School drumline competed in Dripping Springs Invitational Drumline Competition. The Matadors earned first place in the 5A division along with Outstanding Snare Line, Outstanding Tenor Line, Outstanding Front Ensemble awards. The musicians also earned the 8th highest score among all 5A and 6A drum lines that competed in the contest. Mr. Craig Turner serves as the Seguin High School percussion director, while Stan Malden is the Seguin ISD High School director of bands. The varsity volleyball team is now 3-0 in district play. Our players, Coach Stanley and her staff, are doing a great job. In fact, as we meet tonight, the volleyball team is hosting another district match in the Goldie Harris Gym. I'm sure they'll win. Keep up the good work, ladies. This Friday, our varsity football team travels to Dripping Springs for our second district game. Our players continue to show signs of improvement each game, and it is encouraging to have a tremendous amount of support from our fans at our home games. On September 10th, Seguin ISD voters approved the tax ratification election with 972 votes in favor and 377 votes against. I want to thank our staff and community for taking the time and heading to the polls to cast a ballot. Presently, our human resource business departments are working together to ensure that our staff receive pay raises in the October payroll that will be retroactive to their employment contract date. At our last board meeting, I reported that our enrollment was 7,356. As of Friday, we now stand at 7,397. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. We will now move on to the next agenda item, which is information items, and this is the good stuff here. So first we'll go with the campus recognition presentation, and this evening we have Weinert.
Ready? Ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you so much for having us here today. Mr. Rohn, thank you for having us tonight. We're proud of a lot of things at Weinert. I can't even begin to tell you how many things that we are proud of. I could stand up here and talk to you all night, but I'm not the reason that we're proud. These faces down here are the reason that we're proud, but there's a lot of people that are behind them every day. At Weinert, we believe that it takes more than just our teachers coming to work every day. We believe it takes more than just our parents. If we don't work together with an effort and as a team, we don't ever reach our goal. Being a student is not much different than being an athlete. These kids work together. They work together in the classroom, and they lift each other up. The same as these parents and these teachers lift each other up. If you're a parent of a Weinert Elementary student, please stand up, or a grandparent. Oh, wait, I got better than that for y'all. Parents and grandparents, your support that you give these kids every single day, you get them ready, you send them to me, you send them to these teachers that are standing back there, and you trust me with them. You trust these teachers with them. You trust my support staff with them. We look to do the best that we can do with them every single day. We walk in, we plan together, and we are thinking about what is best for your child. I cannot tell you the amount of hours that I know that you put in as a parent. And from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my teacher's heart, we appreciate everything that you do. And we are supportive of what you need at home and what we are trying to do in the classroom, and we know you're behind us. Boys and girls, what do you give your parents? I don't know if you remember or not, but a little Irma Lewis might be back in the house tonight. Thank you. Teachers, my staff, they're a good-looking bunch, y'all. Have you seen them? They look good. Every day I walk down my halls, and I cannot tell you, they hear my heels clicking, and they know at 8:05 I'm coming. But I cannot tell you I don't swing a door open at 8:05 and catch anyone not teaching. These ladies and these gentlemen, they're on it. At 8:05 in the morning, they are giving me everything they have. They give it to me from 8:05 to the very end of the day. They give it to your kids all day long. They prepare lessons. They think with the end in mind. They do things that I didn't do when I was in the classroom as a teacher. They impress me and they teach me. Someone asked me, how does your staff work together? They work like a pack. They're bigger than a team to me. They lift each other up. They run together. They hunt together. They do everything together. They are an amazing group of teachers, and they're lifelong learners. The things that they exemplify in the classroom to your kids, to these students up here, I can't even begin to tell you everything that they do on a daily basis. They feed them breakfast. They make sure their shoes are tied. They take care of the other needs before they do the classroom needs, and they reach a high level every day. You all are an amazing group, and I don't think that you know how much I value you. I know these parents value you, and I know that in 10 years down the road, these little ones sitting in front of me will think back to the day that Miss Hayner read a poem, and it was the funniest poem we've ever heard. I appreciate everything you do. Boys and girls, what do you give your teachers? But at Weinert, these students are the reason we're here. They're the reason that I'm in education. They're the reason that you decided to run for these seats and be elected. And I know that every night, they're the reason you went into this business, Mr. Rohn. I know it. And I know that every night, when you all lay your head on your pillow, you think like I think. What can I do to be better for these kids? How can I make a better example? What can I do? And we struggle every single night with what we're going to do to make this district better, what we're going to do. But I'm here to tell you that things are better. These kids right here, these faces, I'm going to let them tell you about what they've accomplished this year, what they've done in these classrooms at Weinert. So without further ado, thank you, Bird, you listened. I'm going to let the kids tell you about their stars. I'm going to let them tell you about their distinctions. Miss Bailey, you ready?
Hi, my name is Sophia Vela, and I am a 5th grader at Weinert Elementary. And I am here to introduce Cor Conway, who will be presenting the distinction in reading.
At Weinert, all students engage in a balanced literacy program, which in kid terms means we get busy doing what good readers do. All students go to guided reading every day, and our teachers expect us to make connections, synthesize, make inferences, draw conclusions, make predictions, and question the text. We call it our thinking tracks.
Hi, my name is Jake Burns, and I am a 4th grader at Weinert Elementary, and I'm here to introduce Feng Wall, who will be presenting the distinction in mathematics.
Mathematics at Weinert is hands-on. As students, we are expected to think through a word problem by understanding the problem, making a plan, solving the problem, and checking for understanding. We call it the UPS check. It is a strategy that all students at every grade level utilize every day. We also are expected to engage and participate in guided math where we receive targeted support to straighten and sharpen our mathematics skills. Hi, my name is Joseph Ramirez, and I'm a 4th grader at Weinert, and I'm here to introduce Eleanor Crittenden, who will be presenting the distinction in post-secondary readiness, Index 4.
Every student at Weinert is exposed to the importance of a college education from their parents and their teachers. Index 4 focuses on instruction that prepares students at an advanced level. At Weinert, we not only have an intervention plan for students who need extra support in their academics, but we also have an enrichment plan for students that are ready to experience curriculum at a higher level. My GET teacher is an integral part of this process because she aligns her instruction to the classroom text's essential knowledge and skills, the TEKS. We are college bound at Weinert.
Hi, my name is Willie Beatrick, and I am a 2nd grader at Weinert Elementary, and I am here to introduce Carter Dunn, who will be presenting the distinction Student Growth Index 2.
Student academic growth at Weinert is celebrated on a daily basis. For 2 straight years in a row, Weinert has not only earned a distinction in Index 2, but we've also finished number 1 in our comparison group in the student growth category. We understand at Weinert that just passing isn't the goal. We push ourselves, and our teachers push us to go as lifelong learners every day. We're given high academic expectations from our parents, our teachers, and our administrators. It is our job to rise to the occasion and grow. And I know at Weinert we are definitely on the right track. I am the class of 2024. I am a matador.
We are the real stars of Weinert Elementary. We are matadors. We are the future.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, we left you with some stars to fill your buckets tonight. Thank you.
Another round of applause for these wonderful kids. Awesome. Parents, thank y'all. Parents for trusting our faculty with your kids, and they're in good hands. We'll wait for the parents to step out if they wish.
I see those principals back there smiling and looking around. All right.
All right, I think we're calm enough where we can continue. I will now move on to the next agenda item. This is another report from ERO Architect presentation on the status of the construction of the new Seguin High School. Mr. Ron.
Come on up, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm Jerry with...
Just a second. Can we get our microphone back? Okay. Can you speak into the microphone? It's not very loud. That one works better. Yeah, that's why it hasn't been working. It happened earlier today. Go ahead and use that.
No to repeat.
Yeah, start again.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Superintendent Stetson. Today, I'm Jerry with ERO, Jerry Garcia with ERO. Today, we're going to present to you a status update on video for the new facilities at Seguin High School. Bill, if you're ready. He has a little technical difficulty. Just bear with us for a second here. Kind of trying to figure out how I can top that right now. It was wonderful. It was extremely wonderful. And trying to see how we can blend it in with the new high school. These kids are just wonderful.
All right, we'll call for the orders and we'll go to the next one. So
Okay,
let's
as
do
soon as
that.
he gets it back
Okay.
up, we'll
Yes,
come
sir.
back. Right here, sir.
All right. So we'll call for the orders of the day, and then we're going to move on to agenda item C. This is another report. Well, this is a report for the summer camp 2016. Mr. Ron. Oh, that's Mr. Lewis also. Well, that's Mr. Lewis as well.
We could turn the other mic off.
Okay, so whoever
So-
use this.
So the summer camp is also Mr. Lewis. So with that, we will move on to the next report. And I think I know who's going to do that one. Ms. Roan. So, Ms. Roan, this is the 2016 District and Campus Accountability Summary, Distinction Designations and System Safeguards Report. Ms. Roan.
Testing. Good evening, Board President Flores, Superintendent Roan, and board members. I can't think of any place I'd rather be than here with you guys tonight. And like I told y'all last time, I'll be back, right? So here I am with more good news. It's always great that the state has been coming out with dribs and drabs on our accountability this year. And that's worked out great for me because I've got to get up here month after month and just tell you more and more good news. And so I'm here to do that again tonight. But I was kind of outdone here tonight with our students because they gave away some of my secrets here. And Mr. Rowe did the same thing. Good news, everyone wants to speak from the highest mountain, right? So I am pleased to hear that everyone has spoke out before me. And now I just get to put it all together. So I'm going to bring it all together tonight. You can see I have some of these so it's a good thing that I was going to put this up on here, but everyone has one of these and everyone can pick one up. So you can see here that our accountability summary, we came in great standings. Most of this we have already gone over. We met standards in every place except for 2 at Potline, remember? But we are having our appeal go through and we expect it to pass with flying colors, so we're anticipating everyone meets standards. You can also see here that I added my little stars. We had 2 last year. I was expecting somewhere between 5 and 10 this year, and we ended up with 8. Barnes had 1. They had 1 last year as well, but they moved it from student progress over to student achievement. Rodriguez received 2. They had 0 last year. 1 was in student progress, and 1 is in post-secondary readiness. As the students so eloquently explained, student progress is about making a year's progress, and the post-secondary readiness is being college and career bound. Next, we have Weiner here. They had 4 stars. 1 was in reading ELA, which includes writing, and the other one was in math, along with student progress, which they had gotten last year. They had 1. And so this is their 2nd year in a row for that one. And then they got post-secondary readiness. And last but not least, we have McQueenie there with 1 star, student progress. She made great gains in that area. She was number 1 in her group, her comparison group. We had other schools that came so very close. This high school was number 12 on Index 4, and you had to be in the top 10. Vogel was number 11 on Index 2, and you had to be in the top 10. And Weiner was so disappointing because they missed 1 star. They missed it. They were number 11 when you had to be number 10. So we were very, very close in 3 other categories. It's great news. We also are measured in the federal side of the house. These are all state areas. And the federal side, they look at safeguards. On your form on the other side, or your handout that I gave you, in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see where it says System Safeguards. And that looks at how many federal areas did you meet. The district scored 75%, very respectable. That was up 4 points over last year. What does that mean? It means that the federal side of the house looks at all the subgroups. So if you have a subgroup that performs poorly and one subgroup performs poorly and it's masked by another subgroup that performed very well. So let's say you have one subgroup that performed at the 20% level and one performed at the 80% level. You can see how it would be masked. So that's where they look, and that's how you earn your points on the federal side. Is everybody doing about the same, all the different subgroups. And then you have your participation rate, your graduation rate. You can see we got 100% in both of those and met federal limits on alternative assessments. Did we, lots of people will, you probably heard in the past, would take special ed students and give them an easier test and put more and more people in that category. Well, you're only allowed to have 1% in that category. And so we had no more than 1%. So you're getting all all the students testing at a high level. Questions about any of that? Let me just give you some of the highlights on the safeguards. Seguin ISD was up by 4 points. Jefferson up by 55 points. Exactly. Weiner, 2 years in a row, met 100% of their safeguards. We had McQueenie up 50 points on their safeguards. Kennedy met 100% of their safeguards for their first year in a row. And Vogel at 73%, up 20 points on their safeguards. So you can see all the way around, we had lots to celebrate here in Seguin ISD this year. Questions?
Very good. Any questions for the board members?
I want to close just by saying that the things that we need to remember when we're thinking about the progress we made, if I could have the light, that'd be awesome. There we go. I don't want to miss anything. The things that we did, the difference between 2015 and 2016, Star A and Star Alt were included in 2016. They were not included in 2015. Those are the students who were in special education and oftentimes had the most difficult times passing, whereas ours scored at a very respectable rate. Star Math was not included in the 2015 ratings, but they are this year, and we all know that students tend to perform better in reading than math. And more questions were needed to pass, and I think I've gone over that enough times. So one thing I did want you to know, people were concerned about, well, we were kind of at the same level. We were 67 last year, 66 this year. I do want to let you know that the state hasn't released theirs yet. So what does that tell you? Probably not good. Okay, so I'm sure we outperformed the state, because I do believe I came up here one time and let y'all know we outscored the state in 32 areas when we had outscored the state in 11 areas last year. Just a refresher. So things to remember for next year. It's going to take more questions to pass next year than it did this year, so we're already on the road to making sure that happens. The test must be shortened. I don't know if y'all read in the paper, so I'm not exactly sure how all this is going to work. They have to have more questions to pass, but you have to shorten the test. The third problem that we're also looking at is ETS is writing the test, not Pearson. The test we've taken from 2016 back was always written by Pearson. Now, ETS is going to be writing the test, and we know how, we talked about that before. So it's unknown as to what the difference will be. Pearson always released sample questions so that you could have, and the test, so that you would have practice questions to work from, and the teachers could see exactly how the test questions are going to be asked. Well, we don't have that quite yet, but hopefully they will be sending out some sample test questions here pretty soon. And last but not least, we'll have the A through F ratings come next year. So things will be looking a little bit different. They'll bring all the things together and give it a certain amount of percentage. Maybe index 1 might be 20%, index 2 might be 35%, index 3, and so they're looking at all different ways to do that, and then you bring it all together and you'll get an A through an F rating. So we're looking into that. We're staying on top of all those things because our principals have to know this stuff. They have to know this stuff so they can prepare their students and they can prepare themselves and their teachers. And they are working diligently to make sure that happens. One thing we also want you to know is there's no class size waivers this year. Yay, yay. Yes. And no bilingual waivers. As you recall, we now have bilingual classes on all 7 campuses, elementary campuses, and we were able to find teachers, certified teachers, to fill in all those classes. So we're very happy about that. And that concludes my great news. Hopefully I'll get to think of something next month and be back.
Any comments, questions from the board members?
If I could just get a good round of applause, big round of applause for our principals.
Principals, can you please stand up? Where are our principals at? Can I have the administrators on the campuses stand up?
I'd like to ask, and I was going to say this before Mr. Rohn and Ms. Rohn jumped in, but Mr. and Mrs. Rohn, to your cabinet, we know we've been putting pressure on this administration to raise the bar, and it was tough. And for the principals, please pass on to your staff that we are behind you 110%, and we know days are going to be tough, and there's some tough days ahead of us, but we've got the best of the best at every campus teaching these kids, and you see some of the product that was here earlier, and you all have them in your campuses, so know that we're behind you. We'll provide you every asset and tool that we can to make you succeed. And Ms. Rowan, Mr. Rowan, make sure that we provide them those tools as needed, please. Good job. Keep up the good work, and we're here for you. So again, thank you very much.
We're excited about this year. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All righty. No other comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next report. We'll come back to Mr. Lewis. Are we ready for ERO architect presentation on the status of the construction of the new Seguin High School? All right, Mr. Lewis, we're going to turn it over to y'all.
How'd you guys like that?
Awesome.
How'd you like that?
Yes.
I've got a couple of stills in here that we can look at also. Walk you through that. This is a trajectory, a view from the baseball field looking towards the north area, you can see the entrance to the gymnasium back on that end. And you see the existing buildings that are hopefully futurely, real soon, hope next year, we'll be tearing those things down and make room for the facilities and the parkings and whatnot, all the infrastructure that's needed. You'll see the gymnasium there. You'll see the Career Technology Freshman Center. Go to the next still. As we get a little closer, you can see the entrances there to the gymnasium there also. There'll be parking facilities and that whole general location. So it's progressing quite well. We're very happy with the progress. We're very happy with the constructability that Bartlett Kaler is performing right now. As it is statusly, we're very, very good right now. Next one. Here we are on top of the roof of the gymnasiums. We have the main gymnasium, we have the secondary auxiliary gymnasium to the left here. We have the dining room, we have the weight room, dressing rooms, and the library to the left here. Here we are on the west side looking towards the east football field beyond. We have the freshman center there to the right side. We have the CTE to the right of that area. Then we have the Performing Arts Center right smack in that location there. And here we are with the bus lane going up into the campus. We have the Performing Arts entrances there to the right side. All the parking facilities and infrastructure will be to the left where all the laid down area is at right now. And of course you see beyond there the clock tower that's already started on that construction, and then below that we have all the administration offices and whatnot, as well as the LGI large group instructions there and staircases there to that area going into all the athletic facilities there. So as I mentioned earlier, we're at 55% or beyond right now. Construction, Bartlett Kaler has been doing a stand-up job. We have no issues to date. As of this afternoon, my reports are we have no outstanding items on this project, and they're really, really going fast, and they're really going really well, and we're very happy with them right now. Very good.
Yes.
Any questions?
Is there any questions, comments from the board members? So we do get a weekly update on this, and as I've read, and I know two of our board members are ad hoc stand in those committees. We're on track. So keep the foot to that pedal, man. Keep it going.
I think it's important that we realize the job that you two do. I know that it takes time to walk through those facilities and to look at everything there. And I know that because you're from Seguin and you're Matadors, you're looking at that and you're taking the time to really work together to make sure that we have a good independent eye looking at this stuff. And I know that commitment is long. I know that the time that you do that and the conversations you have sometimes are not pleasant. So thank you for pointing things out and bringing things to our attention. It truly does take a team effort, and I think we learned that from our kids, and we learned that from Weiner, and we learned that from our principals. They lead by example, and so I just want to take the time to say thank you for that, because it is a huge commitment and it is a huge responsibility, and you don't take it lightly. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll move on to the next agenda item, and let me get this one. This is Mr. Bill Lewis with the Summer Camps 2016. Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, President Flores, Mr. Rowan, board. I'm going to show, it's like movie night here at the board meeting. So we're going to do one other short one, and then I'll say a few words about summer camp. And then we'll go on. So short video. making that video. They had a great time. Again, I want to thank you for funding these opportunities for students here in Seguin ISD. I want to thank Randy Rogers, who puts in a lot of time and effort to organize this. Monica Vlasic orders our stuff and keeps our payroll going. Everybody has a little bit of piece of this, from getting people hired and trained and paid and on time and in the right place, and the principals that open their campuses. We touched not only the minds and the spirits and the physical wellness of kids this summer in a lot of different ways. So it's pretty exciting. It's very unique. I'm hoping I'm going to be presenting on this at the Midwinter in January. I have a proposal in for that. So as well as with our robotics program. So I'm hoping we get to share the good news with some peers of yours and ours come January. So
Excellent. All right.
Thank
Good
you.
work. Thanks, sir. Any comments, questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Holt.
I just also want to mention, Pete Silvius has
Pete Silvius.
been involved in this a lot, and he's stolen my wife for several weeks this past summer. And I want to say thank you for taking her, but also for giving her back. But my children have been involved in these summer camps as well, and it's just been an enjoyable experience every year. And I do think that this is a benefit to this district, to this community, and to these young students to learn outside of the school environment as well. So thank you for what you do. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Randy Rogers and so forth, for putting forth the effort to make sure this happens.
Anybody want to guess what the most popular camp was?
That's zip line.
A lot of people think it's Minecraft, but it was actually Pete's HEB camp. That had a waiting list that we could have probably gone 5 times with his wait list if we had
I was just here to see the high school. This is a nice treat when you have a
So thank you.
Well deserved. Thank you. Appreciate it. No other questions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. All right, we'll now move on to the next agenda item, audience with the board. We do not have anyone signed up to speak, so with that, we'll move on to the next agenda item. This is a consent agenda item. Do I have a motion for approval for the consent? Motion is made by Mr. Holt for the consent agenda items. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Guerra. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition, that motion passes. And we will call for the orders of the day on this action item. We will be moving to agenda item F. This is a consideration and approval of an order canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the tax ratification election and other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Rowe.
Mr. Hilbert.
I'm just an accountant, guys. I don't. I'm pressing and hold. Oh, there goes. Well,
There you go.
sorry about that.
No.
So, yes, Board President Flores and Superintendent Roan, we're just asking here with this item that the board consider the results of the TRE election. The good news is the County Elections Office, which conducted the election on behalf of the district, has certified the results, and the information has already been alluded to once in Mr. Roan's announcements, but just to make it official, the total votes were 1,352. There were yeses to the tune of 974. Noes were 378. Meaning that the TRE passes.
Okay, with that, all right, with that, before we open it up, I'm going to ask for a motion for approval. I have a motion made by Mr. Holt. Is there a second? Sorry, he beat you. Second by Mr. Guerra. Now I'm opening up for discussion. Mr. Guerra, did you have a comment, sir?
Yeah. I'd like to thank the voters of Seguin for passing the TRE with overwhelming support. I've heard Coach Garcia say, it takes a village to build a team. I like that quote, and I'm happy to see the community coming together to support the team of people that affect so many lives in our district. Seguin ISD has amazing teachers and staff. who are dedicated to our students. We voted to support them in a way that is sustainable for the district while giving them a raise that they deserve. We put students first. And putting students first means taking care of a great staff and attracting the best talent to help them grow. Thank you again, Seguin voters, for supporting our teachers and staff. Go Matt.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments, questions? Once again, excellent news, of course, and we do have a motion and a second, and there are no comments or questions. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you, board. All right, good job. All right, now we'll move on to the next agenda item. We'll go back to agenda item A. This is the adoption. Now we will be doing the adoption of the order setting the tax rate for 2016. Mr. Hilbert, continue.
Okay, and so with the order being approved, now officially the board has the opportunity to set the tax rate on the M&O side. That would be $1.06. On the INS side, that would be 36 cents. And that it would like to make known that in the public hearing that was held earlier this year, the rates that were presented in the paper that were published were $1.06 and 39 cents. So you'll note that 36 cents is the INS rate now. It's less than what was originally published, and that's what we're putting before you now.
You've heard the recommendation from administration to have a motion for approval for adoption of the order setting the tax rate for 2016. Motion was made by Mr. Holt. I'm sorry, it wasn't Mr. Holt. I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas. Is there a second? It was a second by Mr. Holt. I knew that one was coming. So, motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing no other discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Now we will move on to agenda item B. This is a consideration of approval of the certified appraisals for 2016-2017. Mr. Rowe.
Unless you have questions, this is pretty rudimentary. We've got them trained, they're ready to go. It's the new system that the state's putting forward, and so we've got a list there of people. Unless you have a question, I just ask that you approve it.
You've heard the recommendation. I have a motion for Mr. Holt now. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Guetta. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition, and this motion passes. Thank you, sir. Next agenda item here is a consideration of the county extension agents and adjunct staff members. Mr. Rowe.
Moving on down the road with regular business, this is rudimentary. Basically, we're just asking that you allow some adjunct folks to help us out and kind of volunteer. Thank you.
It's an annual agenda item here. Is there, you've heard a recommendation. Is there a motion? Motion is made by Mr. Holt. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Sewell. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. All right, next agenda item is the approval of the proposed budget amendments and financial statements for July 2016. Mr. Rowe.
The statements have been provided. Unless you have any questions, I didn't get any from y'all earlier in the day, earlier in the week, so unless you have some questions about that, I'm asking that you move
You've
forward.
heard the recommendation from administration. Is there a motion for approval? Motion is made by Ms. Effenberger. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Guetta. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. Thank you, ma'am. And next agenda item is now this is the approval for the proposed budget amendments and financial statements for August 2016. Do I have a motion for approval? Motion is made by Ms. Sewell. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Holt. This is the budget amendments for August 2016. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. And we did F already. So with that, there is no, Mr. Rowe, do we need to go into executive session?
I see no need to go into executive session at this time.
All right. Hearing none from board members, no need to go executive session. Administration does not need to go executive session, so it is now 7:22. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.